Good evening and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Let's get to you the day's top headlines. Rajya Sabha clocks 96% productivity in the first phase of the budget session. 65% of the members expressed their views in the upper house. Answers provided to 34 start questions. 0-hour submissions reached 75 in 4 days. 38 special mentions in 6 days. Ayushman Bharat scheme beneficiaries to get up to 15 lakh rupees as financial assistance to get treatment for serious diseases. Union Health Ministry revises guidelines following suggestions from AIIMS and National Health Authority. Union Cabinet approves capitalization of National General Insurance, United India Assurance and Oriental Insurance Company with 2,500 crore rupees. Cabinet also decides to introduce Pesticide Management Bill 2020. Also passes proposal to improve financial health of companies, agrees to changes in Vivad Se Vishwas Bill to expand its scope. India, youngest nation in the world, wants to play on the front foot, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Highlights a century of decisions taken by his government in the last 8 months. The Prime Minister also asserts India is working on a decade action plan to realize the dreams of small cities and towns. And Vietnam to cooperate in review of free trade treaty with ASEAN countries. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu holds talks with Vice President of Vietnam Dong Thai Nong Thien. Both leaders review bilateral relations. India also invites Vietnam to join the International Solar Alliance. In the just concluded first phase of the budget session, Rajya Sabha functioned for a total of 38 hours and 30 minutes, clocking 96% productivity with 155 members speaking during the 9 days of sittings from 31st of January to the 11th of February. Here is a detailed report. Rajya Sabha recorded 96% productivity in the first phase of the budget session of Parliament that concluded on Tuesday. The upper house had 9 scheduled sittings, but as per convention, not much business could be taken up on the first 2 days, while disruptions prevented business on the third day. Against an available time of 41 hours 10 minutes, it functioned for 38 hours 30 minutes. 5 hours and 32 minutes were lost to disruptions, while members sat for 3 hours 56 minutes extra to restrict net loss of time to 1 hour and 36 minutes. In the 6 effective sittings of the Rajya Sabha, 155 members or 69% of the effective strength of the House spoke under various instruments like 0-hour and special mentions. While 75 0-hour submissions were made during 4 days, 38 special mentions were taken up on 6 days. 34 starred questions were answered, while 45 members spoke on the motion of thanks to the President's address and 55 members took part in the discussion on the general budget. The legislative agenda for the second phase of the budget session that starts on the 2nd of March 2020 is likely to include consideration and passing of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Second Amendment Bill 2019 to replace an ordinance. The Mineral Laws Amendment Bill 2020 to replace an ordinance. The National Commission for Indian System of Medicine Bill 2019, the National Commission for Homeopathy Bill 2019, the Aircraft Amendment Bill 2020 after it is passed by the Lok Sabha, the Direct Tax Vivad Se Vishwas Bill 2020 after it is passed by the Lok Sabha, motion for modification of notification regarding the Right to Information Rules 2019 that was tabled in November 2019. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The BJP-led NDA government is making the country's taxation system more citizen-centric. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said this on Wednesday while addressing the Times Now summit in New Delhi. Urging people to pay their dues for the development of the country, the Prime Minister said changes in the tax slabs are going to greatly benefit people. He also assured citizens that tax harassment is now a thing of the past. Listing out some key decisions of his government, the Prime Minister said a special fund has been created for the middle class, unauthorized colonies have been regularized in Delhi, law has been brought against child abuse and chit funds, Article 370 has been abrogated, triple talaq has been banned, corporate tax reduced, the post of CDS has been created, fighter planes are now being delivered, trust on Ram Temple has been created, also the citizenship law has been amended. Issues which he said had been pending for several years.
देश दशकों पुरानी समस्याओं से समाधान करते हुए 21वीं सदी में तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहा है। दुनिया के सबसे युवा देश को जितनी स्पीड से काम करना चाहिए, हम वैसे ही करने का पूरा प्रयास कर रहे हैं। अब भारत समय नहीं गंवाएगा। अब भारत तेजी से चलेगा भी और नए आत्मविश्वास के साथ आगे भी बढ़ेगा।
Prime Minister also said changes taking place in the country have given new confidence to the society. The poor are today confident about uplifting their standard of living. He also said today's India is working on the Decade Action Plan, developing at a much fast pace.
आज देश के किसान में ये आत्मविश्वास आ रहा है कि वो खेती के साथ ही अपनी आय बढ़ाने के लिए खेती से जुड़े अन्य विकल्पों पर भी काम कर सकता है। आज देश के उद्यमियों में, व्यापारियों में ये आत्मविश्वास आ रहा है कि वो एक अच्छे बिजनेस एनवायरनमेंट में अपने बिजनेस कर सकते हैं, अपना बिजनेस बढ़ा सकते हैं। आज के भारत ने, आज के न्यू इंडिया ने अपनी बहुत सी समस्याओं को पीछे छोड़ दिया है।
The Union Cabinet on Wednesday approved changes in the Direct Tax Vivad Se Vishwas Bill 2020 with a view to increase its scope to cover litigation pending in various debt recovery tribunals. The bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha earlier this month with the aim of reducing litigations related to direct taxes.
दूसरा महत्वपूर्ण एक अमेंडमेंट संशोधन बिल है, वो है विवाद से विश्वास। हमें पता है देश भर में टैक्स डिस्प्यूट्स इतने बढ़े हैं कि 9 लाख करोड़ रुपए की रकम उसमें विवादित है। 9 लाख करोड़ की रकम बेवजह विवाद में है और कोर्ट में मैटर चलती रहती है, ट्राइब्यूनल्स में मैटर चलती रहती है और इसका कोई जल्दी निपटारा नहीं होता। देश का भी नुकसान होता है और सभी का समय भी खराब होता है और इसलिए बजट में विवाद से विश्वास ये नया स्कीम लाया जिसका देश भर में स्वागत हुआ।
The Cabinet also approved the infusion of 2,500 crore rupees into 3 public sector general insurance companies, the Oriental Insurance Company, the National Insurance Company and the United India Insurance Company.
जो जनरल इंश्योरेंस की कंपनियां हैं, नेशनल जनरल इंश्योरेंस कंपनी, ओरिएंटल इंश्योरेंस कंपनी और यूनाइटेड इंश्योरेंस कंपनी, जैसे बैंकों को कैपिटलाइज किया था, लगभग पिछले 5 साल में 2-2.5-3 लाख करोड़ रुपए बैंकों में कैपिटलाइज किए थे, वैसी ही इन आईआरडीए के जो सॉल्वेंसी रेशियो है उससे इनकी स्थिति कम थी और इसलिए इनको भी कैपिटलाइज करने का सरकार ने निर्णय किया है और सरकार ने आज के निर्णय के तहत 2500 करोड़ रुपए इन 3 इंश्योरेंस कंपनियों को कैपिटलाइज करने का निर्णय किया है।
The Pesticide Management Bill 2020 also got the Union Cabinet's nod. The bill is aimed at protecting the interest of farmers by ensuring that they get safe and effective pesticides.
किसान को सुरक्षित एवं प्रभावी कीटनाशक मिले। सुरक्षित भी चाहिए, सेफ फॉर द क्रॉप, सेफ फॉर अदर एंड सेफ एंड इफेक्टिव। दूसरा उसमें है कि नकली और अनधिकृत ना मिले। उसकी जबरदस्त व्यवस्था इस कानून में है कि कोई स्पूरियस पेस्टिसाइड बेचता है जिसने रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं किया है और अगर गलत तरीके से पेस्टिसाइड देगा तो उसको पेनल्टी की भी प्रोविजन है और क्रिमिनल केस की भी प्रोविजन है।
The Union Cabinet also cleared the Major Ports Authority Bill as well. The bill will replace 1963 law governing the country's 12 major ports. The legislation will be introduced in the second part of the budget session of Parliament. Ayushman Bharat beneficiaries not covered under various packages of the insurance program and requiring high-cost treatment will now be able to get financial assistance of up to 15 lakh rupees under the Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi scheme. The Union Health Ministry has issued revised guidelines for this scheme after complaints of poor patients suffering from life-threatening diseases not being able to avail treatment under Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi if they are beneficiaries of the Ayushman Bharat scheme. A letter has been issued to all government hospitals, regional cancer centres, health secretaries of states, Department of Expenditure and also the National Health Authority, which is the apex organisation implementing this insurance scheme. It states that if the suggested treatment is not covered under any of the approved listed packages of PMJAY, financial assistance of up to 15 lakh rupees can be given under the Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi. Lessons related to health will now be taught to students in over 11 lakh government schools across the country. Students will be given information about health related to age, need to clean drinking water, importance of yoga, correct nutrition, and also the use of internet. These courses have been prepared on a total of 11 subjects.
देश में लगभग 22 लाख हेल्थ एंड वेलनेस के एम्बेसडर्स शिक्षा विभाग के टीचर्स के माध्यम से क्रिएट होंगे। उतने ही जो है स्कूल के बच्चे इसी प्रकार से इस हेल्थ एंड वेलनेस के मूवमेंट को स्ट्रेंथन करने के लिए मित्र के रूप में डेवलप होंगे।
Under the scheme, School Health and Wellness Ambassador, the government will identify 2 teachers from every school who will be called Health Ambassadors and 2 students who will be called Swasthya Mitra. The scheme will initially be implemented in 200 districts.
जिन लोगों ने वहां तक पहुंचाना है, आप तैयार करेंगे, आप ही के निर्देश में तैयार होना है उन लोगों को और छात्रों तक जाना है। और वो जो विद्यार्थी है वो अपने घर का ब्रांड एम्बेसडर बनना है उसने। स्वास्थ्य विभाग, स्वास्थ्य का आप समझ सकते हैं कि जो बच्चा है उसको आपने कैसे तैयार करना है। तो ये छोटा नहीं, कितना बड़ा अभियान है और आनंद का अभियान है, हर व्यक्ति के जीवन से जुड़ा अभियान है।
Union Home Minister Amit Shah will inaugurate a 2-day conference of BIMSTEC allied countries at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi on Thursday. The conference on stopping drug trafficking has been organized by the Narcotics Control Bureau. The conference follows the commitment made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the 4th BIMSTEC summit, which was held in Kathmandu in 2018. At the conference, BIMSTEC member countries will discuss the challenges of narcotics. Various law enforcement agencies and several other stakeholders have also been invited for the conference. BIMSTEC is a regional organization with 7 member countries. These include Bangladesh, Bhutan, Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Thailand, besides India. And slipping into a very short break here, but more news and updates will continue on the other side. Do stay with us.
We are 4 million now. Rajya Sabha Television's YouTube channel has 4 million subscribers now. 1 million people have subscribed to our channel in less than 6 months. 6,000 people join our YouTube channel daily. RSTV's YouTube channel has 1 million video views every day. In 2019 alone, Rajya Sabha Television's YouTube channel had 400 million video views. Become a part of RSTV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share our videos. Rajya Sabha Television, marching ahead.
The Qutub complex in Mehrauli is not just a place that houses the eponymous Minar, but also a landmark that represents one's ruler's desire to build an even taller structure that could have overshadowed even the Qutub Minar. Alauddin Khilji, who called himself Sikandar-e-Sani or the Second Alexander, had commissioned the construction of Alai Minar. Though the work had begun on the structure opposite Qutub, due to death of Khilji, the construction was abandoned, never to be taken up by any other ruler. Even in its incomplete state, the magnitude of Alai Minar is awe-inspiring. It stands a lot wider at the base than Qutub Minar, and though just one story exists, it stands 80 feet, one-third the size of older counterpart. Probably the only unfinished monument in Delhi is a marvel to behold, for nothing induces more wonder than a strong first step with an illusion of how great things could have been.
Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu held delegation-level talks with his Vietnamese counterpart in New Delhi on Wednesday. The Vietnamese Vice President arrived in New Delhi on Sunday night on a 3-day state visit to India. The direct flight between India and Vietnam was also announced after their meeting. Vietnam is India's close strategic partner in ASEAN and plays a very important role in the country's Act East policy. India and Vietnam relations are marked by mutual trust and understanding, as well as strong cooperation in regional and international fora. The visit of the Vietnamese Vice President will strengthen the comprehensive strategic partnership established in 2016 between both the countries. And the Vice President has said that food, clothing, shelter, education and medical facility are the 5 basic necessities of every individual which must be fulfilled. He added that if any class of a society does not get these 5 facilities, then it can be said that the standard of living there has not developed. Addressing the gathering after releasing the book called The Vision of Antyodaya, compiled by the Indian Social Responsibility Network, the Vice President said that sustainable and inclusive growth is the need of the hour. In fact, he also asked people in public life to focus more on inclusive growth in line with the Antyodaya philosophy of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay.
By and large, we can see that food, clothing, shelter, education and medical attention are the 5 basic necessities of every individual which should be fulfilled. If we want to assess the material standard of life of any country, we could take this as a starting point. If any class of societies does not get these facilities, we may say that the standard of life of the society is not developed.
The Vice President also held several meetings this morning. Army Chief Manoj Mukund Narvane held a meeting with the Vice President at his official residence in New Delhi. Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi also met with the Vice President this morning, and during the meeting, he discussed measures to curb child pornography. He also thanked the Vice President for setting up an ad hoc committee on the issue. And besides, UGC Chairperson DP Singh also called on the Vice President. He highlighted the steps being taken by the University Grants Commission on higher education. Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal will take oath as the Chief Minister of Delhi for the third time in a row on the 16th of February. The swearing-in ceremony will take place at Ramlila Maidan. Earlier in the day, Arvind Kejriwal held a meeting with all the newly elected MLAs of his party, where he was also elected as the leader of Legislature Party. The Aam Aadmi Party won 62 seats in the 70-member assembly. The BJP won the remaining 8, while the Congress could not open its account.
नवनियुक्त विधायकों ने सभी ने 62 विधायकों ने एक स्वर से फैसला लिया कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी हमारे विधायक दल के नेता होंगे और वही दिल्ली के अगले मुख्यमंत्री होंगे। 16 फरवरी को मुख्यमंत्री जी का शपथ ग्रहण समारोह होगा, रामलीला मैदान में होगा और पहले की तरह ही दिल्ली की सभी जनता से मेरी अपील है कि आपका बेटा, आपका भाई अरविंद केजरीवाल जी 16 तारीख को जब शपथ लेंगे तो बड़ी से बड़ी संख्या में पहुंचकर वहां उपस्थित हों और उनके आशीर्वाद दें, उन्हें अपना प्यार दें।
A second batch of 25 foreign envoys arrived in Srinagar on Wednesday as part of a union government facilitated trip to help them have a first-hand assessment of the situation in Jammu and Kashmir. The group comprises envoys from Afghanistan, Austria, Bulgaria, Canada, Czech Republic, Denmark, Dominican Republic, the European Union, France, Germany, Republic of Guinea, Hungary, Italy and Kenya. Also envoys from Kyrgyzstan, Mexico, Namibia, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Poland, Rwanda, Slovakia, Tajikistan, Uganda and also Uzbekistan are part of it. The group of envoys would meet representatives of the civil society, including youth from different ethnic, religious and socio-economic communities, local businessmen and also political leaders in Jammu and Kashmir. According to the Ministry of External Affairs, the envoys will also be briefed about the development programs being implemented, get assessment of the security situation and also witness for themselves the progressive normalization of the situation in Jammu and Kashmir. Remember, last month, the government had taken a group of 15 envoys to Jammu and Kashmir with an aim to make them see the efforts to bring back normalcy in Kashmir Valley. The government on Wednesday announced that the National Highways Authority of India will waive off the FASTag cost between 15th February to the 29th. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has said that the decision aims at enhancing electronic toll collection at NHV plazas. Road users can visit any authorized physical point of sale locations with a valid registration certificate or RC of the vehicle and get an NHAI FASTag free of cost. It can be purchased from all national highway fee plazas, regional transport offices, common service centers, transport hubs and also petrol pumps, among others. The NHAI had earlier announced for free NHAI FASTag from 22nd November to 15 December last year. The death toll from the coronavirus outbreak continues to rise, with the number now up to 1,110 in China. The deadly virus has so far spread to at least 20 countries. Chinese President Xi Jinping held a meeting on Wednesday wherein he noted that epidemic prevention and control have entered a critical stage that requires stringent efforts. He also stressed that the focus should be on priorities without any let-up and strengthening prevention and control in areas where the epidemic situation is particularly serious or at greater risk. The World Health Organization has officially named the latest novel coronavirus as COVID-19, which stands for coronavirus disease starting in 2019. And let's now get you some news about environment and climate change. Global average summer temperatures are likely to break all records in the coming years due to global warming. A new study has revealed that the trend of increasing temperatures is likely to continue through 2028. It also stated that every year is likely to rank among the planet's 10 hottest of all times. Recent data from the World Meteorological Organization reveal that 2016 was the warmest ever, followed by the year 2019. The study, which analyzes temperature fluctuations in National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, has added to growing alarm over global warming and also the impact of climate change on the planet. And that's it from us in this bulletin. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.